Hi, this is Evil Lair from Canadian atmospheric black metal band Nordic Winter, Canadian doom metal band Sinistral Doom, and you are listening to Bloodshed with Vampire on Metal Messiah Radio International, and I'd like to congratulate Metal Messiah Radio with its 13th anniversary.
Evil Lair, it's a pleasure to have you here on the Bloodshed with a Vampire on Metal Messiah Radio International.
Thanks, I'm glad to be here, man.
Before we go over to Nordic Winter, Evil Lair, you are busy with bands like Black and Funeral Doom, Grave and Dusk, and the new Black and Death metal band Calcirat, formed back 2020. I have not seen a new album from Grave Dusk in a long time, while Calcirat, the debut Sepulchre for the Forgotten, was released last year, and the EP Descension into Void a couple months after. But please tell us about this band and any plans to continue with them?
Yeah, Calcirat was actually my first release when I found Bandcamp. I wasn't doing any music at the time, and then I saw this Bandcamp thing, and so I researched it a little bit, and I saw that I could just release my own stuff. Right now, I don't have a full group or anything, so that was my first album, was Vulture for the Forgotten. I wanted to do kind of a Black and Death project, and the lyrics are based on Cthulhu mythos, so yeah, I did that. And then a few months later, I recorded the session into the Void, and that was actually removed the black metal stuff, and I just did old school death metal, because that's something I really enjoyed back in the day, so that was just really for fun.
So in other words, do you think that we're gonna be hearing from Grave and Dusk?
For Grave and Dusk, I haven't planned anything for that. I'm busy with Nordic Winter mostly, so.
Understood. You also formed this doom death metal band Sinistral Doom at some point of time that, I don't have the exact date, but the EP Beyond Twilight's Embers was released this year, last January 11, 2021, independently, with great songs that I highly recommend. The self-titled Beyond Twilight's Ember, just to mention one. Please tell us about this project and tell us about this EP Beyond Twilight's Ember.
Yeah, that was something I wanted to do for a long time, because I also like doom a lot and death and black, so I wanted to try my hand at a little bit more traditional doom, kind of take inspiration for what I did in Grave and Dusk, but bring in some more death doom elements. So that was an EP I did. I'm planning to continue Sinistral Doom beyond this EP that I did.
So I believe for 2022 we will be able to hear more about Sinistral Doom?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. I must say, I like to congratulate you for the 3 songs. Very, very great songs, all of them.
Thank you.
Okay, to continue what we are here for, Yves Allaire, Nordic Winter is a solo Canadian depressive atmospheric black metal band that coming from St-Eustache, Quebec, Canada, and was formed back in 2005 by you, Yves Allaire. The band has taken influences from bands like Zaxtour, Forgotten Tom, The Shining, and as well as other various artists, but bring its own unique vision and style to the forefront. Please, Evil Lair, when and how all this passion for this band and this depression black metal has started?
This started back in 2005. Again, I wasn't doing any music at the time. And then this was back when MySpace, I think, was around. And then I was just looking around for some new black metal. And then, I don't know, I just got the urge I said, I really like this kind of style of music, so I'm going to try to create something. So I ended up putting a song on one of the forums for Nordic Winter, and actually got a record label contacted me like a couple hours later. I posted one song, and then they said, hey, can you do an album for this? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I spent a couple of months, did the first album, and unfortunately that record label couldn't release it. So then they said they knew another company that could release it, and then that was None More Black Records. So they ended up releasing Threnody back in 2006.
Okay, tell us about the band name.
Yeah, I wanted to something, well, like the first album is really just old school kind of basic black metal. So I just wanted a name really just a kind of almost generic, just to go with that theme. Unfortunately, the music kind of changed afterwards. So, and I ended up keeping the name, but it doesn't really fit the style since it's not really depressive or anything. But I said, what the hell, I just kept it.
Okay, 2 years after the band's being formed, you release, like you said, the band's debut album, Threnody, and after a lengthy hiatus, Nordic Winter came back in a big way in 2020, releasing 2 new full-length albums, Requiem and Desolation. Tell us about these 2 albums, Requiem and Desolation, and why have you waited 14 long years, Evil Lair?
Well, actually, the wait was because I had a lot of health issues, and I ended up being sick for a long time. And I also had 2 kids, and then I wasn't really motivated to do any music at that time. So I kind of put music on the back burner, as to say. And then, like I said, like earlier for Sinistral Doom, when I found Bandcamp, for Calcero, sorry, and then I decided to kind of restart my music stuff and just end up doing everything myself. So I didn't really need a band. So the inspiration came. And for Requiem, I kind of wanted to blend what I did with Threnody, but add some more atmospheric, really depressive stuff, and not really keep just the basic mid-tempo stuff, but really go slower. And there's a little touch of doom in there, if you heard it. For Desolation, I basically took what I liked, Requiem, the slow stuff, but really concentrate on the really depressive stuff and kind of remove all the fast stuff from that.
Okay, if I go back to see the reason that you have decided to go on a hiatus, are you nowadays feeling much better?
Yeah, I'm feeling a bit better. It lasted a long time. I missed, I think it was almost 6 years of work because I was sick. So.
If you're not doing music, what are you doing as a full-time work?
Yeah, actually, I work from home right now. I work for video games. I do textures for video games.
Okay, that's something very popular in Canada?
Yeah, we got a lot of big game companies here. I worked at Ubisoft for almost 20 years.
Okay. To continue this interview, on February this year, the band has premiered a lyric video for the album opener, Somber Winds of Despair Part 1. What can you tell us about this song, which is the very first sign of the new album, Sorrow?
Yeah, for this album, I wanted to try a bit to keep the theme basically the same as the other ones, but I wanted to try a little bit more different styles of riffs, and I wanted to really try to make it atmospheric and very get the listener engrossed in the songs.
Last March, the band released the new album, Sorrow, amidst to the death of winter. This release is the 3rd installation of a trilogy that has started with Requiem in April last year and followed by Desolation in June of the same year. Honestly, yeah, it might not be fair only for fans to focus on the last album in this trilogy, as they are all connected. So in order to understand what Sorrow is about, you must check 2 other previous albums out. But going back to what Sorrow is about, please, if you don't mind, Yves Allaire, present and describe us the album track and list, please.
Yeah, the first one is Somber Winds of Despair. It's a story of a guy that actually witnesses his girlfriend kill herself. So I won't go into detail. That's basically the story. That story continues on the Somber Wind of Despair Part 2. Enshrined by Solitude is just an instrumental to finish off the album. And And Sullen Echoes is, well, actually all the songs are basically about dying, so I think it's pretty thematic about sadness. All the songs are pretty much around the same themes.
Okay. But the debut album Threnody was released, as you said, via NMB Records, while Requiem and Desolation was independently. This newly released Sorrow is the first work released to the Canadians Hypnotic Dirge Records. How did you guys made it? I mean, how this all happened to start working together for this release, and will there be more album to be released through this label?
Sorrow was actually an EP, and I sent it out to a bunch of labels. Actually, Hypnotic Dirge actually had on their website that don't bother sending demos or anything because he wasn't going to release anything this year and didn't see it. So I sent it anyways, and he replied and he said, I'm not releasing anything this year, but after hearing the EP, I really liked it. So he was going to release the EP, but I said, well, if you're going to release it, I'd really like to continue and do a full album. So he agreed, and then I continued and developed into a full album. And then after the release of that, he saw that Desolation was done just by myself, and it was almost sold out. So he asked, do you mind me reprinting that? And I said, of course. So he ended up reprinting the Desolation CD.
So Desolation is also available now through Hypnotic Dirge Records.
Yeah, and I also sell it on my Bandcamp also.
Okay, great. Evil Lair, all instruments were handled by you, and the recording was in St-Eustache, Quebec, Canada at Dirge Vos Studio. Fall of 2020. Mix and master, artwork design, layout by you, and original cover image done by Melissa Parker. How was the recording, mix and master process gone? And tell us about the CD cover artwork, please.
Yeah, well, the studio is actually my studio that I use to record some of my friends' bands and stuff like that. So it's just me recording at home in my studio.
Okay.
And the cover was actually, I found this image on one of those free websites. I kind of liked the mood of it, and I just changed it up a bit. And I felt it really described a bit of the ambiance of what the album represents for me.
The album is available in different formats, even different bundles released via Hypnotic Dirge Records and on tapes by Goat Room Production. How are the sales and distribution going? Explain us more about the Sorrow and Desolation bundle, please.
Hypnotic Dirge has a lot of bundles available, and I have limited stock, obviously, but there's you can also get the dual CDs, patches. I got 2 patches, stickers, and signed postcards for both Desolation and Sorrow.
Okay, why this great idea to have them available on tape as well?
That was actually the first, when I sent out my album to some labels, actually Goat Room contacted me, and he wanted to release it on tape, and I didn't even have a CD release at the time.
And how are the reaction from fans to get it on tape?
It's pretty good. I sold out. I only had, I think I had 7 copies, and then they sold out within a few hours, and I think he sold out all his tapes. The fan reaction was pretty good.
Any idea to reprint?
Not at the time, not right now.
Okay. NORDICWINTER creates music that crafted to obliterate all remnants of lights and hope, leaving only despairs and depth. So you need to check out the previous album, the previous releases out if you have not as yet. And you must check out and buy this very new release, Sorrow, which is an exceptional release for fans of doomy, desolate, atmospheric black metal. What are the plans in support of this great new album? And are you planning to hire live members in order to start touring when this COVID thing and restriction is over?
No, unfortunately, NORDICWINTER is going to stay a one-man band. I don't have any plans to play live.
Okay, I must say that, listen to this band. That it would be awesome to see the band one day on stage.
I tried before and it didn't work. I couldn't find any musicians. And
talking about stages, talking about festival, Evil Lair, how is the metal scene? I mean, forget about COVID and things. How is the metal scene? How are the festivals in Quebec or in Canada in general?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Unfortunately, I don't actually go to festivals or shows. I don't have the health to do it, to really go and participate in that. So I'm basically stay at home. Unfortunately, not the best answer.
Yeah, but the scene are very big, no?
Yeah, we got a lot of black metal bands and death metal, obviously. Back in the day, Montreal was really a big scene for the death metal scene. But now there's a lot of black metal in Quebec. Some really, really great bands.
Okay, my last question before we end this great interview for all fans that are really excited and wants, to get or to buy the band's these items. How about merch?
Yeah, I have some shirts and hoodies available that Hypnotic Dirge did, and I got a few copies left.
Only t-shirts so far?
I have 8 t-shirts left, and I think I have 7 hoodies left with the symbol of the sorrow symbol and the logo on the front.
Okay, Evil Lair, the microphone of Madam Messiah Radio is all yours to thank whomever you want to thank.
All right, thanks. I want to thank my fans and everybody that bought the albums. I just make music for me, and it's really great that actually people buy it. So I really do appreciate everyone buying my merch and my CDs and everything. It means a lot. And thanks to you, Madam Messiah Radio. Thanks.
Okay, Evil Lair, once again, I want to thank you very much for this interview. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And I wish you all the best with all the bands that you are busy with, especially this one, Nordic Winter and, Sinistral Doom. And yes, I wish you all the best with this great new Nordic Winter album, Sorrow. And I'm looking forward to hear more from you. Should you have more album coming out, don't hesitate to contact me. But I'll be in contact with you so we can invite you and to have you back here on Madam Messiah Radio in the near future.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, like I always say, metal on. Bye-bye.
Bye. Metal out.